Welcome to the Attractions Group Podcast, episode number 99. Hello, everyone. Alongside Ryan, sir, I'm Don Helbig. Ryan, how you doing?
99 of these things, Don. We've tolerated each other for 99 Attractions Group podcasts.
Yeah, and they said we wouldn't last more than 10. I remember when we first
I
started.
remember that was one of the critiques. They won't last more than 10. Well, joke's on you. We're almost 10 times the 10. Now, will we make it past 100? Probably not. No, totally joking. But no, I'm doing really good. You and I went on the same trip, not with each other, and didn't run into each other this past weekend. That's the funny part.
That's right. Holiday World.
Mm-hmm.
I arrived last week on Thursday and stayed through, part of the day on Saturday. Had a fantastic time. How was your visit?
It was really, really hot. I'll tell you that much. But had a lot of fun, especially because I was with a family that had never been there before, so I got to be there for their first ride on the voyage, first ride on, Thunderbird, and to see the park and the different areas and stuff. So I had a really good time. But you got to have a pretty unique experience. Tell us about your voyage on the voyage, shall we say?
Well, that was something that the opportunity was there to climb to the top of the voyage, 167 feet up. I think it was like 315 steps. I really didn't know how my legs were going to feel, both going up or afterward, the next day, were they going to be sore when you do something? You're using muscles that you don't use all the time when you're climbing steps like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Holiday World has a lot of hills, as you go around the park.
They sure do.
So, so being a Thursday and Friday, I thought that conditioned me and prepared me and helped me for the climb that I did on Saturday morning. But, that was a dream opportunity if you're a coaster enthusiast. And if you ever want to do something like that, I mean, go to the Holiday World website. They have these VIP tours where you can do that. So it wasn't only just a climb to the top. It was me. And there was a father and son from Seattle that were also part of this tour. And, like me, I mean, they were just absolutely excited about the opportunity, the views that you have from the top of the voyage, especially looking down at Good Gravy. I mean, perfect. Yeah, I mean, you're aligned perfectly to get that aerial photo of that. So it was just, again, just a dream opportunity to do it. And then when you come back down, you go into the station. And a couple of maintenance guys are in there. They hand you, bottle of cold water, which, kind of hit the spot after, climbing that in the morning when it was about 85, 86, 87 degrees already in the morning. But walked to the station and then walked around, through the brake run, through the tunnels. You got to see the bank turns. You got to go through where there's that window if you're in the queue when it's crowded. And, they can see the trains whizzing by in that. So it was a nice tour. They allowed us to ask questions. I was asking about, the gravity group with their pre-cut track and how that all, worked and how it was working in that. So just a really good experience. And then from there, it was you get escorted over to Thunderbird to be first riders of the day on that. So I highly recommend that you do one of those VIP tours at Holiday World. Definitely worth doing.
Worth the price of admission just to be able to ride Thunderbird. I'll say it. I'm just going to say it. All right. Now, you were raving about a new food item you tried. Tell us about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of food. I think I went to Holiday World for the rides, but I ended up staying the 3 days for the food. Had a lot of different things. One of my favorites was the honey chicken mac and cheese. This is outstanding. It's located at the stand up near Thunderbird, so you got to climb up the hill to get it. But this is just amazing. I loved it. It's a go-to item for me now when I go to Holiday World. I'm going to have it. But there was other food items too in the water park. You had Sam's Smokehouse, so I couldn't decide whether I wanted the smoked brisket or the smoked pork, so I just got both of them. But there was other things, burgers, the blue ice cream, as a dessert was really good. Got some of the treats in a couple other locations. Just really ate a lot the 3 days that I was there. So like I said, came for the rides but stayed for the food. Their food at Holiday World, it's amazing.
Yeah, fortunately, you burnt off all those calories climbing the steps. But let's talk about the end of the night, because you went there for kind of this specific reason, but they have a huge drone and fireworks show. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I got to see the preview show on Friday night, and I was able to do it from the dessert party area,
Mm-hmm.
and that's definitely, again, something that if you're going to Holiday World, look into doing that. The drone show runs daily, weather permitting, through August 4th. You don't want to miss this. I mean, this show is spectacular. Just 500 drones. The animations and things that they do, it's just really beautiful. It's a great setting with the fireworks, where they shoot it off from, and it's just a great way to cap off a fun and memorable day at the park. So you don't want to miss this. I can't wait to go back and see it again. I mean, I've seen a lot of different drone shows, and just what they do with the drones, I've not seen it to that degree at any other park. And what really makes it good this year and different, is it's the first park in America, a drone show, to incorporate audience participation. And when you come into the park, they have QR codes set up where you can vote for the show, one of the show endings. So, it's another way that make it fun and interactive for the guests is by letting you vote, for what you want to see. There's 4 different options that you can choose from that get incorporated into the show.
Very cool. Yeah, we didn't stick around for the drone show, but I'm gonna have to join you
You
for that
missed out.
next. Yeah, yeah.
You missed
I
out.
love me a good drone show. I've been very clear about that, but I'll have to join you for the next one. But so your connection to Holiday World is going beyond just being a was it a Diamond Pass holder or Platinum Pass? What do they call them at Holiday World?
Yeah, I've got the Diamond Pass.
Okay, so tell us what else
Or,
you're doing with Holiday World.
well, I was selected to be one of their Holly bloggers for the 2024 season. Was really honored to get that call that I had been selected, and I'll write several different articles throughout the summer here. I've already submitted an article that hopefully gets published over the next few days about the drone show. But yeah, I mean, it was just an opportunity that I was excited to apply for, not thinking that I would get it, because there's lots of people, hundreds of people that want to be part of that program, and to be selected, is an honor.
Very cool. So, do you have any more trips planned for the Summer of Dawn, the SOD or SOD as we call it?
Summer of Dawn. Yes, it's been a good summer. I've been, traveling to different places. 4 or 5 visits to Holiday World. I've got, I think, 5 visits I've already made to Dollywood, Kentucky Kingdoms. Already been hit. Kings Island. But next week I'm going to go Monday, July 1st. I will be at Six Flags Great America in Chicago. It's been a minute since I've been there, so really looking forward to that. Got to process my Six Flags pass so I can visit other Six Flags parks, but you got to process at the park you bought from. So Chicago's the first stop there. And then over the 4th of July, that weekend, starting on the 4th, traveling to New York to go to Six Flags Great Escape and ride the new bobsled roller coaster. We had Michael Graham on from the Gravity Group a few weeks ago talking about that ride, and just want to go check it out. So I'll be at Six Flags Great Escape probably on either July 5th or July 6th.
Very cool. Yeah.
And then Kennywood. In a couple weeks after that, I'll be going to Kennywood.
Perfect. Well, before we continue and bring in our special guests, let me remind you that you can find us on all your favorite podcast apps, Apple, Google, Spotify. You know the drill. We do a wonderful YouTube version of the podcast where you can see us, and like you can see my hair and you can see Don's head, and but so make sure that you search for the Attractions Group podcast on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. But Don, who do we have coming on tonight?
Well, Ryan, over the next few weeks, there's a special opportunity where a ride on a roller coaster takes on a special meaning, where riders are raising money for an organization that's very near and dear to my heart, and I believe yours too, which is the event's called Coasting for Kids. They raise money for Give Kids the World Village in Orlando, and our guest tonight is here to talk about that. So we'd like to welcome Kris Leach to the Attractions Group podcast. Kris, how are you?
Hi, everybody. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking me, and thanks for having me on tonight.
Well, thank you for what you do for the community and everything. But can you start by giving us a brief overview of what Coasting for Kids is all about?
Oh, sure. So Coasting for Kids is an event that's billed as the most exhilarating fundraising experience ever. Give Kids the World has promoted this for many years, pretty close to 15 or 20 years now. And Give Kids a World is in Orlando, Florida. It's an 89-acre resort area that was started back in 1986 by this fella named Henry Landworth, and he was a hotelier. He was also a survivor of the Holocaust, he and his twin sister. And he was born in Belgium, and then when he came back to the United States in the moved to the in the 40s or 50s, he decided he was going to start a hotel there to help bring people into the Orlando area. So one of the things that he did was, because he was a survivor, he gave an opportunity for families who were going to visit the Central Florida area, gave with gave them an opportunity to stay for free if they applied and had a life challenging illness or chronic illness or whatever. Well, one of the days when he was looking in his reservations for, he was looking in particular for this one family that was going down to Orlando, noticed that they canceled their reservation, and the little girl's name was Amy, and she was going through a really challenging time with leukemia, and it really bothered him that that family canceled their trip down that way, and come to find out that she had passed away and didn't get her wish trip. So unfortunately, it was just heartbreaking for Henry, and he decided that he was going to never let any child who had this life threatening illness, never would never just let a wish go unfulfilled. So he and his family, and now his daughter Pam runs Give Kids the World Village, and they do a week full of yes. If a wish child wants ice cream for breakfast at 7:30 in the morning, yes, you can have it. If they want to ride the carousel that's on the property at 7:30 in the morning, yes, you can do it. So it's Give Kids the World has partnered with some of the other parks around the country to provide enthusiasts like us, whether we're in a club or not, to help raise funds and raise awareness for the things that Give Kids the World does.
Now, Kris, how did Coasting for Kids first get started? So, like, what would have been the inspiration behind it? How did it, get started?
Well, I really am not 100% sure about the actual dirty details of that, but I did do a little digging, and Coasting for Kids started sometime around 2010. And then I posted something on Facebook and had gotten a response back from a former colleague of yours, Don Brian Edwards, who worked up at CP for a while. And he made a comment that he and Scott Face had created this brainchild that would have gone through all of the other Cedar Fair parks to be able to do kind of a marathon type opportunity, just like every other a-thons. You do something crazy and raise money, and it all goes to a really good cause. So long back then, Cedar Fair had partnered with Give Kids the World to do this marathon type experience. And from what I understood, that's a little different now, but what I understood was it was an all day event where you sat in the seat of a coaster for a very long period of time, almost marathoning. At Kings Island, Don, I understand that you might have been one that helped organize or helped run that during your days down there, and that they used the racer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yeah, that was, I remember Brian and Cedar Point doing that, and then it kind of was something that was extended out to the other Cedar Fair parks. Kings Island was, excited to do it, and I was the one that kind of led that at Kings Island, and uh, it was great to see the participants that while they were getting a lot of rides, that they understood what it was about, what it was
Exactly.
for.
Exactly.
And they knew that the rides had a new meaning for them. So while they were getting a lot of rides on the racer, by having representatives from Give Kids the World there to explain, and having some the families, and you get to see the kids, and that just took on a whole new meaning. And in the subsequent years, I remember the first year it raised maybe like $1,700 at Kings Island. Then it
Right.
got to like 5,000, 10,000. It was really climbing. And but what I really liked about it, it wasn't just the enthusiasts wanting to pile up a bunch of rides. They understood what it was about.
Exactly. And I dug back into the old KI Central forums and read some of the posts from experiences from that day, and they were talking about getting the next day, being sore, but being sore for a reason, and just kind of taking one for the team, if you will, because the kids were always going through some pretty rough times. So they decided that that was just the least that they could do to be able to bring awareness to what other people are going through. And I think that's something that we as a society have to start understanding, that there are things that are happening that are outside of our realm, and that we really need to be aware that other people are going through stuff.
Yeah, now the event has changed quite a bit. It's evolved from its origins as like a coaster marathon. So there are several dates involved nowadays. Can you talk about some of the important dates for Coasting for Kids in 2024?
Oh, absolutely. So this year's theme is called Coasting for Kids: The Inversion Tour, and there were 7 parks that have been involved. One just happened on June 23rd down at Six Flags over Texas. They had enthusiasts. Um, they had some alumni families that were there to meet together and had an experience. They had some ERT. They had a lunch, a meal together. They were able to sit and chat with each other, and just kind of learn what other folks had gone through, what their experience at Give Kids the World was. So it just kind of, those of us who don't have that opportunity, thankfully, to to need a wish granted. We just need to understand what other people do, and they. One of the cool things is there are people that go really. Some of our enthusiast friends go really, really over the top to do some awesome things. One of our ACE members was down at Over Texas, um, challenged his donors to raise it. If he raised a certain amount of money, he would put himself in one of those trap door release water slides, the water tubes. And what was really funky about him is he said he took one for the kids because he's claustrophobic and doesn't like those enclosed tubes. But he ended up raising almost $500 because of it on his own. So that was kind of cool. And then there were others, might talk about in a little bit, um, that just they kind of do some really interesting things to be able to bring awareness and raise some money. So I'm really kind of proud of some of our ACE friends. I'm actually the ACE Cares coordinator for the American Coaster Enthusiasts, so that's kind of where my focus is. But I sure would love to be able to bring in a lot of other coaster enthusiast groups. The next date that's coming up is July 7th. That's at Adventureland in Altoona, Iowa. And then most of the dates are on Saturdays, but there are a few Sundays. Hershey Park will be on July 13th. Six Flags Fiesta Texas in San Antonio will be on July 27th. Dollywood and Pigeon Forge is August the 3rd. Holiday World Splash and Safari in Santa Claus, Indiana is August the 18th. And then they'll go to New Jersey for Six Flags Great Adventure on August the 24th. And the last Coastin' for Kids event is at Kennywood on September 1st. That's a Sunday. They're right before Labor Day.
Now, a lot of these parks, they've been doing it for a number of years. Do you have any of these parks that maybe it's their only first or second year doing it?
Yeah, Adventureland was new to this lineup. Hershey Park hadn't done a costume for kids for a very long time. I personally have been involved since about 2018, and I hadn't seen Hershey in the lineup. And Six Flags Great Adventure, I hadn't seen them in a lineup for a while. But Dollywood, Kennywood, Holiday World have all participated in the past, and they've been really successful. I personally was a part of one of the Hollywood Holiday World teams, and we raised about $4,000 for that one day. And then Kennywood, I've been a part of those teams, and they have been very, very successful. Now, Six Flags Over Texas and Six Flags Fiesta Texas have been stops on the alumni family bus tour that they aren't doing this year, but they have been they've been in contact and have been working and partnering with Give Kids the World for a while now.
So, how do you sign up, whether you're an individual or a team, to participate in the event?
So the website, Give Kids the World website, has when you go to the website, it'll have an events page on the left hand side, and that when you click on that, then it will go to different ways that you could support the village during different events that they have. Coastin' for Kids is actually the second event on that page. And when you click on that, the banner will come up. It's a really cool logo this year. It really looks crisp and really inviting. I love the color scheme. And then you can pick the park where you want to participate. You can participate as an individual. You'd come in by yourself, or you can participate on with a group on your own team, or you can join a team. So if you're an ACE member, you can join the ACE Cares team at all of the events. We have folks who have volunteered to become the team captains at every one of the other events that are happening, the other 6 events that are happening. And if you are an ACE member, you can also find those on the ACE events page. They're park sponsored events that are throughout the rest of the season.
Now, Kris, say somebody was interested in doing this. How does the fundraising process work? How do they go about, raising the money? Is it something they can do online? Do they need to go door to door? What do they need to do?
Yeah, that's a good question. So everything is processed through Give Kids the World, which is great because they take care of making sure that the funds are collected from however you do it. There's a registration fee for each person to register, and then they ask you for to fundraise above that registration fee, and it's just the difference between that fee and the goal that they have for the event. So how the writers fundraise is really up to them. Like I told you before, we had some really crazy challenges go on. I've heard that some people have done yard sales. It's a good way to clean out your closet. If you have some really awesome coaster memorabilia and put it out there, and with the proceeds going for your Coaster for Kids account, you could do bake sales. I've heard folks have partnered with their employers for like a match type situation, but that you have to work that out with your HR people. There are a lot of people go through social media and make requests on their social media, different platforms. They do have Give Kids the World has a fundraising page that they will help you with, and it goes right to your Facebook or to your X or to your threads, or you even have the ability to throw some logos together for IG if you want to go through Instagram. I do know a couple of members that are currently on the Dollywood team that are allowing donors in a challenge to determine what they do with their beard. So their whiskers. So last year, I was gonna share this later, but I'll share it to you now. There was one of the fellas that lives here in Ohio, and is one of our Eastern Great Lakes region members, but he put his beard on the line, and he said, so you as a donor, if you donate so much money, you can tell me, do you want me to cut it off all the way? Do you want me to trim it up, or you just want me to leave it go? And by the end of last year's experience, Dave had raised $1,500 and got a nice little trim on his whiskers, because nobody wanted to see it go, but they needed him to sacrifice a little bit too. So when you do sign up, there are some incentives that you could earn. Those are based on the goals that are set forth by Give Kids the World. Those are on the page. Ranges from T-shirts to fanny packs. There are cups that you can get a cup. I saw something today on the website about IAPA tickets, but I haven't dug any deeper into that. So if that's something that might interest you in a couple of tickets to IAPA, then by all means, please consider taking a look at that information on the Give Kids the World website.
So can you, for those who are not familiar with, the charitable organization and stuff, can you talk about some of the ways that the money has been able to make an impact through Give Kids the World Village?
Oh, for sure. So Give Kids the World Village is one of the top charities it's called Charity Navigator, and they do such a great job of making sure that most of the donations that folks provide go directly to supporting their mission and helping the families. And Give Kids the World is phenomenal in the fact that about 93% of every dollar goes directly toward helping the families during their wish trips and providing the things that they need for the wish trip. So that means, if you do the math, 7% of every dollar, 7 cents of every dollar is what goes to administrative costs. So they get a lot of corporate sponsors and a lot of in-kind donations. Companies will donate in kind, and a lot of their work that's done at the village is done with the help of volunteers, which I've had the chance to volunteer down there a couple of times, and I'll tell you what, it's life changing. A lot of the funds that people will, as they raise from Coastin' for Kids, those go to fully support wish trips. So when a child says they want to go see Mickey Mouse, or they want to go to Central Florida to go see a rocket be shot off, or whatever it is in Central Florida, the wish granting program and Give Kids the World work together, and the funds that are raised during events like Coastin' for Kids are used to offset the costs of a wish week, which right now is about $7,000 for a fully funded wish week. Families, when they get to Give Kids the World, have their attraction tickets taken care of wherever they want to go. They have their meals, their lodging, all of the amenities that are on the 89-acre resort are all fully included in their wish week. The villas are fabulous. They have 2-room villas that are fully furnished, have a full kitchen, so if families need to cook a meal, they can bring it. They can have food delivered from an outside agency, or if they can always go to the cafe or have it delivered within the village. Let me see. It also goes to support activities that are at the village. There are small buildings within the village. It really does look like a little town. It's kind of really cool. But they have a scoop shop. It's called Henry's Starlight Scoops, and that's the ice cream shop. So if one of the kids wants ice cream at 7:30 in the morning, they can go get a milkshake or they can go get an ice cream sundae. Everything is provided for them. So um, a, a like a $50 donation to Coastin for Kids will help cover ice cream for an entire week for 19 families, which is fascinating to me. There are small gifts that are given to each of the children, their siblings each day. They've got Amberville is a small area that has some small flat rides that were graciously donated by Zamperla, and they were fully retrofitted so that everybody can be involved. They're wheelchair friendly. Um, they've got a train. There's a carousel that's there. They have a couple of really cool flat rides, and those were all just totally donated to the village. Let me see. All of the meals, the amenities. They have this really cool swimming pool that is zero entry. And if you've got a child who's in a wheelchair with mobility concerns, they have these really cool wheelchairs that are made out of mesh and PVC pipe, and those kids can get down into the pool in these water type wheelchairs and play and splash and be a kid. And I think that's one of the big things that is so important, because there are a lot of these kids who are going through so much that their life is full of no's. Sorry, no, we can't do that. You have a doctor's appointment. No, your illness doesn't allow you to be in the water. No, this, no, that. And Give Kids the World allows those kids to have a week of yes. Yes, you can have ice cream for breakfast. Yes, you can ride an amusement park or amusement ride that's fully accessible. Yes, you can go play on a playground because their Matthews playground is fully accessible to every ability. And they also at Matthews Playground also has one of the world's largest um, Candyland games, and they have Candyland game tournaments through the week. They also have somebody who brings in a horse, so kids who may have never ridden a horse before have an opportunity to ride a pony. They have a place in the back of the property that has a pond, and they can go fishing, and there's a nature trail, and it's just a fascinating, fabulous place where for one full week, these families can be a family and make memories, and that will last literally a lifetime. And it gives them a little bit of hope.
I had a chance to tour the village before, and just an unbelievable experience. And to see
Mm,
what it meant to the families, that has stayed with me. And it's like I said, it's been several years, but if you ever get a chance to do it, if you're listening to this and you get a chance to either do a tour of it or even volunteer, if you're going to be spending some time in Central Florida, I mean, definitely do it. And like Kris has mentioned, that for these families, it's that one week where the kids can just be a kid again.
hmm
You've got other family members where they're affected too, because they can't really do a lot of things because the other child can't.
Right.
So to just have that week, to just go down, I mean, it's a magical place. I mean, it's just, I mean, that's the word that comes to mind to me when I think back about my tour there, was just how magical it was.
And they seem to, I totally agree with what you say. And they accept everybody's differences in such a way that they allow the kids to try something new. And also there are times when the families, moms and dads or grandmas and grandpas or whoever their adults are, need to have some time away. And they're starting to create those spaces where the adults, the caregivers, are able to go into a little spa area, and if nothing else, just get maybe a little, sit in a shiatsu chair and just relax. They don't have to worry about where their meal is. If mom's up worrying about something, or dad's up worrying about something in the middle of the night and they're hungry, all they do is call, and they've got a pizza delivery system where they can get a hot pizza from the kitchen delivered at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning if they need to. Um, I've had an opportunity to take the tour, and then we worked a couple of shifts, and I'll tell you what, I I can't wait to get back and be able to just stand in the middle of that place and just get the hope that they all give off to me, even though I've been blessed and had a healthy family. So it was almost as impactful to me as it was to a family that I met in Kennywood during a Coast Band
Yeah, I,
event.
yeah, I feel the same way about that. But let's talk about the kind of support you get from the parks and the broader community for this event.
Well, that's a really good question because we do a lot of things within just the event that as as the Ace Cares coordinator, I don't see a whole lot of the discussion that goes between Give Kids the World and the park. So I really can't answer that question, as far as the event planning part of it. But I do see on the days of the events when I've done a couple of the events at Kennywood, and have seen how the staff members there notice that if we're wearing our shirts or event shirts or whatever, they are genuinely curious as to what Give Kids the World is and what it means. What are you doing? What's Custom for Kids? They really do want to know. And so it really also then allows them to ask those good questions and then take that back, the understanding of what the event is about, take it back into their neighborhood and say, I met this family today at, let's say, Kennywood, met this family today, and they went to this place called Give Kids the World. And I really think that I would like to learn a little bit more about it. So it's just kind of a big awareness. I really do appreciate too the fact that the parks are becoming more aware of the needs of the people in their communities, not just for um, not for just for the village, if you will, but for the needs of the differently abled folks that are coming through their gates. By hosting um, events like Give Kids the World, and by donating cars, coaster cars, or ride cars, or parts, or signs, or like these parks are showing their city that they truly care about the people who are coming through their gates. And I just really think that just talking with people and sharing experiences with the folks that are in the parks for the day. I have a tendency to wear my Coastin' for Kids shirts to a lot of parks because not only am I proud to be a part of the team between Give Kids the World and the amusement industry and all the different enthusiast groups, I I feel that strongly about sharing the needs that Give Kids the World has um, to meet the needs of their families. So one of the cool things that the parks do in relationship to their being members of IAPA, Give Kids the World is an IAPA charity of choice. So every family that leaves after the end of their Give Kids the World um, week, their wish week, they leave with a passport that's good for 1 year for the wish child and then the people who have accompanied them on their wish trip. So they can go to different amusement parks that have joined in on this passport. There are some zoos, there are some museums, there are some just not just amusement parks, but a lot of different groups that are part of water parks that are a part of the IAPA family that get together and say, we're going to support these families even through past their experience at Give Kids the World. And it makes them feel like the, they, it makes the families feel like the hope that they got while they were at the village is extended into their neighborhoods and into any place that they might be traveling for that next year.
Yeah, I would say so. Again, fantastic organization. I think you're doing such a great thing with it. But if somebody couldn't attend one of these dates, but they still want to maybe contribute or be involved, how can they do that?
Oh, absolutely. So on the Coasting for Kids website, there each individual person who is participating as a writer has a fundraising page. So you can, if you can't make it to one of the events and you still want to support the things that Give Kids the World's doing, you can go in and support any of the writers with a donation. You know, a donate. You could, if you know a specific writer at a specific event, you can support their particular page. If not, just support the day as a whole. Say you live in New Jersey and you can't make it to the event, and you're not sure you know any of the people who are participating, but you want to show them a little bit of New Jersey love. Then you can make a donation to that particular event, just as a person out in the community. But a donation of as little as $5 is going to help pay for unlimited rides on those attractions, pays for the electric, pays for the grease, pays for all of the upkeep for those particular rides. And you can see what rides are available for those families in their little Amberville area. If you go on the website, and you can take virtual tours of the website. I talked about a $50 donation. A $50 donation will help fund unlimited ice cream and supplies for, oh, I misspoke earlier, for 7 families, not 19. Um, so $50 will help fund unlimited ice cream for 7 families, and unlimited pizza anytime, day or night, for one family during their entire stay at the village. If you're working or visiting in the Orlando area and you would like to be able to give back to the village, with a little bit of prep, and you can volunteer to work a shift. Those shifts are usually between 3 and 5 hours, and they can help with any of your skill set. They can mesh into that. They need help in the cafe. They need help with delivery. Um, you could even, if you want to, you could even operate one of the rides. You could operate the train. You could be a person who runs errands throughout the village. There's a little planning involved in that, though, to be able to go through it. There's a small application. Trust me, it's not hard, and it takes about 6 to 8 weeks from start to finish. When you fill it out, they do have to do a background check for the safety of the families that are in the village. And you go in, you fill out an application with your legal name, because it does go through a background check, and then volunteer services will get in touch with you, and you do this really quick. It's about 45 minutes of an onboarding orientation type video, and then they set you up, and you can go in and you can pick the shift, the day, the activity that you want to be able to give a little bit of time back for those families who are there. It's mind-boggling how awesome this place runs with the volunteers, and how many volunteers that they need. I read somewhere that they do they just had uh, they're about to ready I'm sorry, they're about ready to go through get their 200th wish family from the beginning. 200,000. Let me see the paper. Yeah, 200,000 wishes is what they're about to ready to grant. And most of the work that is done, the physical work that is done on the village property, is done by volunteers. So I can't speak enough. Might even be able to work with Santa Claus, because he goes to visit the village once a week, takes a day off up at the pole.
So, Kris, do you have any personal favorite memories uh, or highlights from past Coasting for Kids events?
I do, and the one that still sticks out in my head because I still follow this family is back in, I want to say 2019. I was at a Coastin' for Kids experience and met up with an alumni family who's from the Dayton area and got to we were riding the train. So this was not a very long experience to talk to this family, but I really felt like we connected on a real deep level. But her name was mom's name was Kim, and she was telling me that her son P, whose name has been changed to protect the child, was 7 at the time, and he was going through some serious illness issues. They had just gotten back from their wish trip, and she was so excited to tell me all about her their experience. P was so excited about the fact that he got the big room, and mom and dad had to stay in the spare room. He got the big bathtub, and they didn't. They had to use the little bathtub. It was just he was so cute. But 2 years later, P, as I've followed him, P's liver failed, and he almost passed away in 2021 at the age of 9 or 10. And just, I felt like they had become part of my family. But gratefully, right around Christmas time of 2021, P got his a new liver, and I pray for the donor family every day for P's new liver. He called it Big Cheesy, and he's now doing so well, and just got back from a week of sports camp for kids who are horse camp for kids who are ill, and he had a blast, and he's doing so well as a 12, 13 year old. And he's starting to, in his second part of it, he's starting to have some issues that are creeping up again. So I just I just really feel like meeting that family just really, you know, that was a big thing for me to make all of this real. And meeting Kim and the boys now gives me the impetus to keep volunteering for Give Kids and helping out with Coastin. And I also am involved with um, the Gingerbread Run, which is another event that um, I participate in. It's a 5K, and that one's going to happen in November again under the lights in the village. So that's going to be. I'm just excited about being being uh, being in the village again, and hopefully in November.
Kris, can you tell us a little bit more about ACE's involvement with this? Because you mentioned that Give Kids the World is their organization. They work with the parks. And then you have Ace Cares. Is that more of just like a an awareness thing, or where do you guys fit into the whole structure that makes up the Coasting for Kids?
Yeah, that's a good question. Um, Ace Cares is a small committee that um, is just kind of, I'm, as the coordinator, my job is to just be kind of a liaison between our members and different charitable organizations. We really focused lately on Give Kids the World, but we are starting to branch out a little bit. We have had some discussions with Morgan's Wonderland in San Antonio about partnering with them to do events and just being able to make our members aware, and um, other enthusiast groups aware that there are ways to be able to support parks that support other charitable organizations. We've been doing this for, I think Ace Cares started in 2015, and just kind of setting up and being a part of Coastin' for Kids. And then it's just kind of blossomed into a little bit more than that.
So, Kris, for this year, do you have any specific goals in mind that you'd like to accomplish for Coasting for Kids?
Um, I my big thing is always awareness, and I I tell the team and our ACE leadership that really, if one more person is made aware of the needs of other folks, and through, with Give Kids the World, they are, like I said, they're IAPA partners, and so is American Coaster Enthusiasts. So if we can work together as that team and try to make sure that folks get the help that they need, then that's kind of my big goal. One person tells another person, who tells another person, and so on and so on. I guess my other goal for a Coastin' for Kids for sure is I would love to get back with other enthusiast groups to come and um, join in the fun. There was a couple of, there was a couple of events that there were almost 100 people, maybe closer to two of the events that I came, that it was almost like just a giant family reunion, that we all get together to share our passion, not only for riding coasters and visiting world-class amusement parks, but we get to help other people at the same time. And I'll tell you what, if I can combine all the passions that I have and be able to change somebody's life, even for just a moment in time, that's definitely a win-win in my book.
So let's say somebody is signing up for Coasting for Kids for the first time. What advice would you give them as far as the attending the event for the first time?
Okay, so that's really easy. You just sign up and you do it. If you've been to a coaster enthusiast event, it's going to look a lot like one of the events that maybe your coasting club has done. There's going to be some form of early ride time or exclusive ride time. There's going to be a meal involved. You'll be able to have the opportunity to spend the day in a world-class amusement park and enjoy each other's company, just like we do, the big old family reunion. But it it becomes um, those connections that you start making when you attend the same events over and over. You start to make those friends, and sometimes seeing them another year in advance is almost as much fun as riding. Or coming around the corner and being surprised by seeing somebody that you hadn't seen for a while, and you're there for the same reason, to be able to support other people. I personally get excited about seeing the lineup that Give Kids the World comes up with. I think the theme is really, it's a fun theme this year. They have not shared some of the details to keep some surprises, but there are a lot of just there's the event has changed to keep people involved and keep people wanting to see, well, what's going to happen next. So my thought is, if you think you want to do it, just do it. It'll change your life. It really will.
Now, Kris, you mentioned one of your goals was to, kind of raise more awareness for this.
Mm-hmm.
So how can people help spread the word?
You can start by either joining a team or joining an event or sponsoring a rider. And you can learn a little bit more about what happens at the village by going to the website and taking a video tour of the village. You can check out their website. There's so many really cool little clips about the tours around the village and what happens there. The Castle of Miracles is an absolutely special place that is, it honors all of the Wish kids that visit, and the kids get a little star, and the Star Fairy takes their little star from them and puts it up into the Castle of Miracles. You can learn about that. Sharing out on your social media, if you have that. letting one more person know about what your experience was, what you think you might get out of it. Just if one person tells one person tells one person, the word's going to get out. And that's kind of, that's kind of really the goal, is to make people aware that this place exists and that families have an opportunity to be normal for a week.
So, do you have any like final thoughts or anything else you want to share about 2024's edition of Coasting for Kids before we depart here today?
Sure, sure. I think this event is a fun way to support the mission of the village, especially since a lot of us don't live within driving distance. I mean, the commute from my house here in central Ohio to Orlando would be a bear. But I feel like I'm making a difference down there by just doing this event. And like I said, I do the gingerbread run, and we have a small team that does that. Um, I guess just just look outside yourself and know that you can have fun at the same time of helping others. I've really I'm a blessed mama. Both of my kids grew up very healthy. My grandson is very, very healthy. And this is just one of my ways to be able to bless forward. And I still get to have a lot of fun doing it. So I guess that's what I could share. It's it's not all about me. It's all about we and helping others.
All right, Kris, one more time. Where can people go to find more information or register for Coasting for Kids?
Sure, you go to the Give Kids the World website. It's www.gtdw.org/coasting. I'll send Dawn that, and hopefully you can put it in the show notes. And that if you have any other questions and you just want to just ask general questions, you can reach out to me. It's Leach at aceonline.org, and I'll send that to Dawn as well. If you're an ACE member and you want to be a part of the ACE Cares team, please reach out to me at acecares at aceonline.org. And I have important information about registering for an ACE Cares team.
That's
Come join,
awesome.
come join an event that's close to you. We've got a lot of them coming up.
Awesome. Well, Kris, we really appreciate you being on the show, and
Oh,
definitely keep us posted. And we love the work that you're doing.
oh well, thank you. I do it because it's just a lot of fun, and we I've met a lot of people along the way, so that's been kind of a cool blessing too.
Awesome. So I guess we'll plug ACE's website, aceonline.org. Is
It
that still
is.
where we're to find you guys? Okay.
It
And,
is. You can Google the American Coaster Enthusiasts, and it should send you right there.
awesome. Well, stick around. We got the Pick Six coming up next.